questions for this video start with when was Mars discovered? So as far as I know, the first mention of Mars that I'm aware of was in 1045 BC in China, but the planets, including Mars, have been noticed for thousands of years. People didn't know that they were planets, they just knew that they were stars in the sky that moved, whereas the rest of the other stars seemed to stay in the same place relative to each other. And that's where the name planet comes from, is the ancient Greeks called them planetae, which meant wanderers, so wandering stars. The first telescopic observation of Mars was from Galileo in 1610. So then, he could get an idea of there was a distinct color to this planet. There were different features. And then as telescopes became better and better, we started to be able to make out some surface features. As soon as we could see surface features, or at least hints of surface features, people began to map out the surface of Mars, like this image here, drawn by Schiaparelli, and also this one by Lowell, who suggested that there were straight canals made by Martians, and that idea that there were intelligent beings on Mars persisted for quite some time. So over time, as we got better and better images of the surface of Mars, we realized that what we thought were indications of intelligent life on Mars, like those canal systems, were actually just surface features that had been misinterpreted. So rift valleys and big canyon systems, and even some transient clouds, but no signs of intelligent life. And so that immediately leads on to another question that you sent, and that was, have any humans been to Mars? We haven't sent any humans yet, but tidally leading on to the next question, and that was, are there any inventions on Mars? We don't have a human presence on Mars in terms of having sent people there yet, but we have sent a lot of robotic landers and rovers as well. Here's a neat rover picture series, and this is actually a selfie taken by the Perseverance rover, and in the background you can see the Ingenuity drone, so the Ingenuity helicopter that we've also sent to Mars. Really cool. So I'll bring down my large globe of Mars for this next set of questions. The questions are, is there life on Mars? Is Mars a desert? And is there food and water on Mars? So all of these questions are related, and it's related to the presence or not of liquid water. So while we're studying life on Earth, we have found that all of the life that we know of occurs in places where there's liquid water, at least some of the time. And so the search for life in the solar system really becomes the search for liquid water. The reason I wanted my big globe is to tilt it so that you could see the polar caps of Mars. So this is the northern polar cap. At the bottom we have a smaller southern polar cap. The fact that there is ice on Mars in the poles and also beneath the surface gives us that possibility for liquid water. And as soon as we have that liquid water, there's the possibility for life. This brings us on to the question, is Mars a desert? Now, a desert doesn't mean that it's dry because it's hot and it's dusty and sandy. It can be dry because everything is ice. So on Earth, we have the deserts of the Arctic and the Antarctic where there isn't liquid water. And so Mars is a desert. It's so cold during parts of its day and parts of the, in different parts of the globe, that water is mostly ice. It's not liquid water. It does get warm enough for water to melt, but Mars doesn't have as much of an atmosphere as Earth. And so there's not enough atmospheric pressure to keep melted ice as a liquid. So on Mars, if ice gets warm enough to melt, it just sublimates off into a gas. So again, we don't have that liquid water. And so that means that we don't know of any life that is existing on Mars. If we do find it, it will probably be in the rocks, where water is preserved in a liquid form at some point. So that's not going to be, little green persons. It's going to be little bacteria living in the subsurface, perhaps. This is also why there isn't food on Mars, because of course, plant life is a form of life. So without the water, we don't have the life, we don't have the food.